In this paper, we are not allowed to use calculator. So in question 1, we need just to use mental math. Minus 3 plus minus 8 equals to minus 11. Second question, what does the longest bar in the bar chart represent? The mean means the average, median is the number in the middle, range the greatest number minus the least number, mode is the most repeated number. Since it is the most repeated numbers, the bar that represent the mode is going to be the longest. For the third one, we need to work out 1.1 minus 0.15. Again, we're not allowed to use a calculator, so we are going to line up the numbers and make sure to put the decimal point above each other. So on the right of the decimal point, we have the 15, on the left we have 0. Then we're going to do simple subtraction. 0 minus 5, that cannot be done, so this is 0, this is 10. 10 minus 5 equals to 5. 0 minus 1 cannot be done, so this becomes a 0, this becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. Decimal point goes down, so the answer is 0.95. On a circle, which of these is always longer than the diameter? Since the circumference is the diameter multiplied by pi, so the circumference will always be longer than the diameter. So this is our answer. This question is a non-calculator paper, so we're going to multiply normally. 6 multiplied by 3 equals to 18, so we put the 8 down and we carry 1. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 equals to 49. We're going to scratch this one. Now we're going to multiply the 2 by 83. Because the 2 stands for 20, we are going to add a 0. So 2 times 3 equals to 6. 2 times 8 equals to 16. And then we add 8 plus 0 equals 8. 9 plus 6 equals to 15. Carry 1. 4 plus 6 equals to 10 plus 1 equals to 11. Carry 1 again. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So the answer is 2,158. If the cost of 3 calendars is 18 pounds, work out the cost of 5 calendars. To be able to know the cost of the 5 calendars, first we need to know the cost of 1 calendar. So we can do this by dividing 3 by 3 and dividing the 18 by 3. We're going to have 1 calendar cost £6. Now I need to know how much 5 calendars cost, so we're going to multiply this by 5 and multiply this by 5. So 5 calendar will cost £30. A helicopter blade does 3,206 full turns in 7 minutes. Work out the number of full turns per minute. So 3,206 full turns in 7 minutes. To be able to know how many turns they do in 1 minute, we need to do the division. So divide 3,206 by 7. And we are going to use the short division to do that. 3 divided by 7 equals 0. 32 divided by 7 equals to 4, remainder 4. 40 divided by 7 equals 5, remainder 5. 56 divided by 7 equals to 8, so it's 458 turns in 1 minute. At a cinema, films are shown on screen 1 and screen 2. Customers pay full price or child price. There are 3 times as many customers in screen 2 as screen 1. 68 customers pay child price. Now these are the 2 information that we have, and we can move on from there. When we look at the tree, we are going to notice that we have 15 children paid child price for screen 1 and we have 87 people in screen 1. We don't have any other information here. So we can start by working backward in the frequency table. Given that 68 customers paid child price and 15 of those customers, they did that in screen 1. So 68 minus 15 equals to 53. So this is how much was paid for child in screen 2. Now, another information is given to us in the question. We have 3 times as many customers in screen 2 as in screen 1, which means the customers in screen 2 are 3 times 87. So if you multiply 87 by 3, we are going to end up with 261. Knowing that 87 in screen 1, children, we have 15, so 87 minus 15, we're going to have 72 people paid full price. For the second screen, we have 261 customers, 53 of them paid for the children price. So 261 minus 53 equals 208. Those are the customers who paid the full price. The last thing we are going to do, we need to know how much the price was in full. So we're going to add the prices for screen 1 and screen 2. 87 plus 261, it's 348. So on the frequency tree, we have 348 customers, 87 watched on screen 1, 261 watched on screen 2. From the people who watch on screen 1, we have 72 customers paid full price and 15 customers paid child price. And then from the 261 customers who watch screen 2, 208 paid for full price and 53 paid for the child price. Work out the fraction that is halfway between half and 1 over 4. So this is going to be done in 2 steps. First, we need to subtract 1 over 4 minus half, and then divide the answer by 2 to know the exact fraction that is halfway. So 1 and 1 over 4 minus half. To be able to do that, we are going to change the first fraction into an improper fraction by multiplying the 1 by 4 and then add it to 1, which is the numerator. 1 times 4 is 4, plus the numerator 1, this is 5 over 4 minus half. Then we need to make the denominators the same. Both of them can be changed into 4. So we multiply the second denominator by 2 and the second numerator by 2. This becomes 5 over 4 minus 2 over 4, which is 3 over 4. Now that we're done with this, we go to the second step, which is dividing the answer that we got by 2. Dividing by 2 means we could multiply it by the reciprocal of 2. 2 means 2 over 1. The reciprocal of 2 is 1 over 2. So 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8, and we got the answer. X is a positive integer. It's positive and it's integer. Integer means it's a whole number that is positive. 35 divided by x is a positive integer. Again, the answer of 35 divided by x must be a positive integer. This means that x is a factor of 35. The factors of 35, it's 1, 5, 7, and 35. So these are the 4 possible values of x. Third dice has 6 sides, numbered from 1 to 6. After it is rolled, 5 of these numbers can be seen. Write down the probability that one of these 5 numbers is 2. As long as we have 5 numbers that can be seen out of the 6 numbers, so the probability that 2 is going to be seen is 5 over 6. Work out the greatest possible sum of the 5 numbers. Since we have the numbers on the dice from 1 to 6, just simply we are going to add the greatest 5 numbers. So the greatest 5 numbers are 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, and the answer is 5, 15, and 20. Two over 7 plus 6 over 7, we need to circle the right answer. In addition, we leave the denominator as is, and then we add the numerator. 2 plus 6 equals to 8. Changing that into an improper fraction, this is going to be 1 and 1 over 7. For the second one, we need to work out 4 plus 3 times 5 minus 1. We need to use the PEMDAS, which means multiplication is coming first. So this is going to be 4 plus 3 times 5 is 15 minus 1, and then 4 plus 15 equals to 19 minus 1 equals to 18. And question number 14, the nth term of a sequence is 5n minus 2, and we need to work out the third term. Notice n is the term, so we are going to substitute 3 by n. 5 multiplied by 3 minus 2, 5 times 3 is 15, minus 2 equals to 13. Trapezium ABCE is made from a parallelogram ABCD and an isosceles triangle ADE. And they told us that AE is equal to DE. We need to work out angle AED. Angle AED is this one. Okay. The first step to know angle AED is to know angles EAD and EDA. To be able to know that, if I know the angle that is supplementary or on the same line of angle EDA, I will be able to find it easily. Since they gave us in the question that ABCD is a parallelogram, one of the properties of parallelogram is opposite angles are equal, which means angle B and angle ADC are equal. To find angle ADE, which is on a line with angle ADC, this is going to be 180 minus 100, which is 80 degrees. So this angle equals to 80 degrees. And because of the given in the question, which is triangle ADE is an isosceles triangle, this means that with these given sides are equal, the base angles of this triangle are also equal. So if this angle is 80, this angle is also 80. Now to find angle AED, we need to subtract 180 by the sum of the other two angles. So 180 minus 160, which is 20 degrees. A to B equals 1 to 6, A to C equals 3 to 1. How many times bigger is B than C? To be able to do that, I will need to write A to B to C. In the first line, they said A to B equals 1 to 6, so this is 1 to 6. And in the second line, A to C equals 3 to 1, so this is 3 for A and 1 for C. Now when we check the question, A was 1, it became 3, so we need to multiply by 3 to get this, which means we need to multiply the B by 3 as well. B, 3 times 6 equals to 18, so B to C is 18 to 1, which means B is 18 times bigger than C. Laura wants to work out 3% of 1,700, and they put her method here. She multiplied 1,700 by 0.3, and they're asking if her method is correct. Her method is wrong because 3% is equivalent to 0.03 and not 0.3. And in part B of question 17, Laura also wants to work out 30 over 29 of 60. Her answer is 58. Is her answer correct? The answer is no, because 30 over 29 is greater than 1, which means that the answer should be more than 60 and not less. This question is giving us list of shapes: parallelogram, regular pentagon, rhombus, scalene triangle, and trapezium. And they said that in the Venn diagram we have Gazai is the set of all shapes, so all shapes goes inside the Gazai. Q is the set of quadrilateral. R is the set of shapes which always have rotational symmetry. So complete the Venn diagram with the letters A to E. To start with, we are going to postpone this until later. They said that Q is the set of quadrilateral, so let's go back to the table. Parallelogram is a quadrilateral, so we can put it in Q. B is a regular pentagon. C is a rhombus. Rhombus is a quadrilateral, so we're going to put it in Q. D is a scalene triangle. E, trapezium, which is also a quadrilateral. Then we have R is the set of shapes which always have rotational symmetry. Go back to the table. Parallelogram have always rotational symmetry. Regular pentagon also have a rotational symmetry. Rhombus has a rotational symmetry. Scalene triangle does not have, and trapezium does not have. So when I want to put these letters inside, notice that the parallelogram and the rhombus, they are in both set Q and set R, which means we are going to put them in the intersection. A for the parallelogram, C for the rhombus. Regular pentagon is in set R, so B for regular pentagon is in set R. Trapezium is in set Q. Trapezium is in set Q. And then we have the scalene triangle is going to be outside the two circles. A equals to 7 and B equals 2. We need to work out A over B minus A to the power of B. First, we're going to write down the question. Then we are going to substitute the numbers in the variable. So A equals to 7 over B equals 2 minus A equals to 7 again to the power of B, and B equals 2. 7 over 2 equals 3.5. 7 squared is 49. 3.5 minus 49 equals 2, and the answer is going to be negative 45.5. Now when we go to the next question, solve this equation. When solving any equation, 3x minus 8 equals to 19, the first step we need to do is to isolate the variable. We do that by taking the numbers from this side to the other side. We're going to start with the minus 8. We're going to add minus 8 to both sides. So 3x equals 19 plus 8 equals to 27. 3 is multiplied by x. To get rid of the 3, we're going to divide by 3 and divide by 3. So we are going to end up with x equals to 9. I prepared this table. I put the numbers on the card on it, and then I shaded this area because we need to put something in mind that we cannot pick the same card twice. And because we cannot pick the same card twice, I cannot add 17 and 17. I can pick 17 with 12. I can pick 17 with 23. We may pick 23 and 23. We may have 15 and 16, and so on. But in case we picked 17 and 12, the sum will be 29. In case we picked 17 and 23, the sum is going to be 40. In case we picked 17 and 15, the sum is going to be 32, and so on. Now that we worked out the sum of the two cards that may be picked at random, we are going to highlight the sum that is more than 30. 40, 32, 33, 35, 40. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 numbers is out of how much? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is 14 over 20. When we simplify it, it's going to be 7 over 10, which could be written as 70%. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared. When x equals -2, we substitute x with -2. -2 squared is 4. Then we substitute when x equals -1. -1 squared is 1. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4. Now, using this table, we are going to draw the graph of y equals x squared for the values of x from -2 to 2. Now, when x equals -2, y equals 4. So this is -2 and 4. -1 and 1. So this is -1 and 1. 0 and 0. 1 and 1. 2 and 4. Then we are going to graph. We're done with this one. Now they said use the graph to estimate the value of square root of 2.6. Square root of 2.6, when we substitute it with x squared, it will give us y equals 2.6. So we are going to draw a horizontal line. This is 2, 2.1, 2.2. This is 2, 2.2, 2.4, 2.6. So it's here. We draw the line and the value of x minus 1.6 and 1.6. Minus 1.6 and 1.6. We have two consecutive whole numbers, n and n plus 1. We need to simplify n minus n plus 1. To simplify, we need to take down the n, then we're going to distribute the minus to the n plus 1. So n times n. So minus n, so negative multiplied by n is negative n, and negative multiplied by 1 is negative 1. N minus n is 0, and the answer is negative 1. On the second one, we need to multiply n multiplied by n plus 1. So we are going to use the distributive property. N times n is n squared. N times positive 1 is positive n. On the third question, the two numbers are added, so that the answer must be an odd number. When I add n plus the n plus 1, this is going to be 2n plus 1. 2n is always even. 2n is always even. 1 is odd. And even plus odd is always odd. Circle the value of cosine 30. To be able to do that, we are going to draw the special right triangle 30, 60, and 90. Opposite to 30 is 1. Opposite to 90 is 2. Opposite to 60 is root 3. Cosine 30 is adjacent over the hypotenuse. The adjacent of 30 is root 3. And the hypotenuse is 2. So the answer is root 3 over 2. For the second one, number 25, 8 1 over 2 divided by 2 and 2 over 3, we need to give our answer as a mixed number. So 8 and 1 over 2 divided by 2 and 2 over 3. The first step is to change both mixed numbers into an improper fraction. We can do that. We multiply 8 by 2, then add 1 to the answer. So 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17, and the denominator stays the same. Divided by 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, and over 3. Okay, now remember, keep, switch, and flip. In division, we keep the first fraction as is, 17 over 2. We switch the division into multiplication, and then we flip 8 over 3 to the reciprocal, which is 3 over 8. Okay? Now, as long as we don't have anything to simplify, we will just multiply. 17 times 3 is 51, and 2 times 8 equals 16. When I want to change this into a mixed number, how many 16 do I have in the 51? We have 3 16ths and remainder 3 over 16. So the answer is 3 and 3 over 16. A ship is sailing in a straight line from its home port. The distance time graph shows 4 hours journey. So when it starts, the distance was at 48 miles, and when it arrived, it was at 116 miles. How do I know that? From 0 to 20, we skip 4 at each one to get to the 20. So we have 40, 44, and this one is 48. Then we get here. We skip by 4, so 100, 104, 108, 112, and 116. Now, they want us to work out the speed of the ship during the 4 hours. Speed can be found using the gradient. So it's delta y over delta x. We are going to draw the line. Delta y over delta x. The highest y is 116, and the highest f, the lowest y is 48. So this is 116 minus 48 over. Then delta x, it's 4 minus 0. 116 minus 48 equals to 68 over 4, which is 17 miles per hour. Kim works at an airport in the UK. She records the number of planes landing between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. each day. The table shows the data for the first 10 days in January. Now these are the data. The airport was affected by fog on one of the days. Which day you think it was? And we need to give a reason for that. So when we look at the number of planes in each day, day 1 is 148, day 2 is 151, day 3 is 147, and so on. We are going to notice that in day 8, the number of planes was not as usual. So in which day was it affected by the fog? It was in day 8. And the reason is because 102 is an outlier because all other numbers are in the range between 147 and 155. Now in the second question, Kim uses the data to predict how many planes will land in the airport in a year. In her method, she uses an estimate of 150 planes in each 4 hours, in each 4-hour period throughout the day. And we're going to assume the same number of planes each day. We need to work out prediction. Now, as long as each 4 hour we have 150 planes, we need to know how many times a day those planes are going to land. So we are going to divide 24 hours by 4, and this is equals to 6, which means I will have 150 planes landing in the airport 6 times a day. That's why we are going to multiply the 150 by 6, and the answer for that is going to equal 900. Now 900 planes a day, and we need to estimate how many during the year. So 900 multiplied by 365. So 365 multiplied by 9, because when we work out the answer, the 2 zeros will go down from the 900. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 4 is 58. And 9 times 3 is 27, plus 5 is 32. So 328,500 planes. Now they gave us another information. In fact, fewer planes land in winter than in summer. Fewer planes land at night than during the day. What does this tell you about Kim's prediction? And we need to tick only one box. So is it too low, is it too high, or is it too low or too high? Now, in this kind of question, you might get confused because you don't know, and you don't know what to do, and you are going to start thinking, if fewer planes land in winter than in summer, then how many planes are going to be? And we might like confuse ourselves with that, which you don't have to do that, because it's as simple as it might be too low, it might be too high, and the reason is no enough information. We don't know. The sum of angles in any quadrilateral is 360. For example, in a rectangle, 4 times 90 equals 360. Zach writes 5 times 90 is 450, so the sum of angles in any pentagon must be 450. Is he correct? Of course, he is not correct. And the reason is, to find the sum inside any polygon, we use the formula, which is n minus 2 multiplied by 180. The number of sides in a pentagon is 5, so n will be replaced by 5, minus 2 times 180. 5 minus 2 is 3, multiplied by 180. The angle sum inside a pentagon will be 540, and that's why Zach's answer is wrong. Work out the value of a. Root 6 squared plus 8 squared equals to cubic root of 125 a cubed. Now on the first one, 6 squared is 36. 8 squared equals to 64. And that's equal to the cubic root of 125 times a cube. Cubic root of 125 is 5, and cubic root of a cube is a. Now we move on. 36 plus 64 is 100, so this is root 100 equals to 5a. Root 100 equals to 10, so this is 10 equals to 5a. And to find the value of a, we're going to divide by 5 for both sides, which means a equals 2. And on the second one, question 30, work out the percentage increase from 80 to 280. Now, the percentage of increase, it's always can be found. We can always find the percentage of increase by using the difference over the original. So the difference, it's 280 minus 80, which is equals to 80. And the original number was 80. Now, the percentage of increase is difference over original. I'm sorry, the difference 280 minus 80 equals to 200. Now, the percentage of increase, it's the difference over the original, so it's 200 divided by 80, which is going to be 100 over 40, which is going to be 10 over 4, and which is 250 over 100. So the percentage of increase is 250%. Just in case we get the 100 over 40 by dividing both the numerator and numerator by 2. We get the 10 over 4 by dividing both of them by 10. And then we get the 250 over 100 by multiplying numerator and denominator by 25. We need to solve x squared minus x minus 12 equals to 0. And to be able to do that, we need to factorize. To factorize, we are going to open two brackets. Don't forget the answer is always 0. Now when we do this, x squared is always x multiplied by x, so we're going to start with that. And minus 12, it's either minus 1 multiplied by 12, or minus 3 multiplied by 4, or minus 2 multiplied by 6, or we could say 1 and minus 12, 3 and minus 4, 2 and minus 6. Now, to be able to find the numbers that are going to be in these two brackets, we need to look for numbers that where the product of the two numbers minus 12 and the sum is minus 1. So all of these have product of minus 12, but the only one that has sum of minus 1 is 3 and minus 4. So it's positive 3 and minus 4. This means x plus 3 equals to 0 and x minus 4 equals to 0. So minus 3 from both sides, and here plus 4 to both sides. We are going to have x equals to minus 3 and x equals to positive 4. So minus 3 and 4.